Go, Heidi!
Oh, thank you. My name is Heidi. I'm 20 years old, and I work in a hair salon. Wow! As you can tell, I have Down syndrome, and my life is important, and this is good for as anyone else's.
Now, disability rights activist Heidi Crowter became an internet sensation after she spoke at a rally outside Westminster protesting against the potential introduction of a controversial new prenatal test for conditions like Down syndrome in the UK. We are joined now by Heidi and her mother Liz. Ladies, you're both very welcome to Ireland AM this morning. It's a pleasure to have you here. Heidi, before I chat to you and the internet sensation you have become and the very important reasons why, Liz, I want to come to you first to just talk about the campaign and what it means to you, because I know there are a different situation here in Ireland because we're not suggesting the introduction of the screening and abortion for women who are given the diagnosis that their child has Downs isn't an option for people in Ireland. They would have to travel to the UK. But in the UK, it's a different situation.
That's right. So in England, you can have abortion up to birth for serious handicaps, and that includes babies with Down syndrome. So this new screenings can be brought in earlier in the pregnancy. And our fear is that more babies with Down syndrome will be screened out.
Because currently, and I didn't realise this until I did my research, 90% of women in the UK who are told that their child could be born with Downs choose to terminate the pregnancy.
That's right. Yes, it's quite often doctors and midwives give a very sort of bleak outlook for children with Down syndrome, which years ago they weren't given so much, weren't allowed to do so much. They weren't educated. Their heart conditions weren't mended. But nowadays, those things are dealt with. Children are educated and go on to live very happy and fulfilled lives, and and all of that very valued by their families. But doctors tend to give a negative and bleak outlook, and so a lot of women do choose.
Would you not believe that it should be a choice, as you just said?
As long as they've got an informed choice. That's the important thing.
And you don't think people are being offered an informed choice?
No, they're not. They're told they'll never walk, they'll always be a burden on you, they'll never talk, those sort of things, rather than, this is a child and you wouldn't get rid of your normal child if they suddenly had brain damage through meningitis or something. You wouldn't get rid of them, but for something which is detected in the womb, you just get rid of.
Heidi, let's talk to you because you're living, walking, talking proof that you are just as valid as anyone else. And I was trying to put myself in your shoes last night and I was thinking, gosh, imagine if there was a screening process to get rid of really hyperactive girls called Sinead. No, but it is. It's kind of a denial of who you are as a person and saying that you're not valid, as valid as somebody else is. And for you, it must be deeply hurtful, the notion of a screening process.
Yeah, it is very hurtful.
And why did you decide to... It's one thing to sit at home and think about this, another thing to decide to go public and to talk as strongly and as openly as you have done about it. So what made you choose to step into the limelight and let people know how you feel about this?
I wanted people to know that all life is valuable and it doesn't matter who we are. And it says in the Bible that we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Is this, I was about to say, for both of you, is your position on this informed by faith as well? OK, so you would both have a strong belief in God?
Yes,
we do.
And that's where you come from?
Yes.
And Heidi, what would you say to somebody who maybe has been told that their child is going to be Downs and they're scared and they're worried that they won't be able to do it and that maybe their child won't have a life as rich and as valuable as somebody without Downs? What would you say to somebody?
I would say don't be scared because they can achieve and have a wonderful life.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a hairdresser.
I'm a hairdresser.
OK, where do you work?
I work in a hair salon with kids in Leamington.
In Leamington, OK.
It's in Coventry, in England.
And do you work full-time or part-time?
It's paid.
It's paid? And you work 9 to 5 every day, or...?
No, I work...
A few hours a week?
I work 4 hours a week.
4 hours a week. Let's talk to Liz as well about, first of all, how you felt about Heidi's speech at Westminster. Before we come to the speech, how did this all come about?
So we found out about the Don't Screen Us Out campaign on Facebook, and so we signed up that we would go to it. And then I got talking to the lady who runs the campaign, and she asked me if Heidi would be willing to do a speech. I think it's really important that she can...
There you are, Heidi, doing your speech.
It's good that because she can speak out. She can speak out for all people with Down syndrome. That's one of the problems with this screening, is that it's being brought in without any reference at all to the people of the Down syndrome community. So there's nobody on the ethics committee. They haven't asked anybody until now, haven't asked anybody with Down syndrome how they feel about it.
Well, actually, Heidi, let's ask you how you feel about. How do you feel about the idea that people will be offered early screening and could choose to maybe terminate their pregnancy if they were told their child had Downs? How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel really sad that they want to terminate our life.
When it comes to the issue of abortion, which is a much bigger issue, and in Ireland it's a very, very emotive issue, as it is in every country in the world, but in the UK it's something that is legal, and thousands of women leave Ireland every year to go to the UK to have an abortion because it's something they can't have a choice to do in this country. Are you pro-choice or pro-life? If you had to put a name on it, what would you say, Liz?
Pro-life.
Pro-life. Yeah. And Heidi, I suppose you're coming from a faith-informed basis as well. Yeah. And would you, for women who do choose to terminate, would you be understanding of their decision or would you condemn it?
I wouldn't condemn it.
Yeah.
No, I would be understanding and I would want to support them and help them. And I have a lady come up to me on holiday once and explain about how she terminated and how seeing Heidi brought back all the memories for her. And talking to her, I mean, it was hard for me, but I still was able to, hopefully, to, support her and not judge.
And just as Heidi said to people out there not to be scared, you would say the same thing. That it's tough, it's difficult.
Oh, yeah, it's not a walk in the park, no.
Yeah, but it's rewarding.
Yes.
And she's wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
You are wonderful, Heidi.
Not many 20-year-olds who live on their own in their own flat. And...
Oh, yeah, I live by myself.
You live by yourself in your own flat?
Yes.
And you're there doing the hairdressing? You might have to do my hair, Heidi. Will you stay and do it? No, you'll change the colour. I don't want to go purple.
All red.
All red, all red. Now, I know this is your first time in Ireland, so have a lovely time while you're here. And come back to us again, actually. Will you? Be nice to meet you again.
Yeah, be nice.
Would you like to say anything finally, Heidi, just to say anything to anyone out there watching with Downs or parents of children with Down syndrome? Do you have a message for them?
Ooh. Well, I want to say that all life is precious and that we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
Well said, Heidi. And Liz, thank you very much for coming in this morning. Much appreciated.
Now, later in the programme, we'll be talking to Professor Fergal Malone, Master of the Rotunda Hospital, about what exactly the situation is regarding prenatal screening.